All right, shalom, shalom. First one was like all praise, honor, and glory to
Howard
Yahweh,
by Shem, Yahushai by Shem, Rakakadash.
double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone to all you sincere out there pressing the truth and sincerity. You know, the brother wanted to go into, Lazarus and then, hey, the shift of power that's finna get ready to happen. You know, go ahead.
Yeah, it's about to be a definitely changing the places amongst Jake and these Edomites and these heathens. We'll find it. Is in,
Why you grab that?
okay.
This is Second Ezra chapter 6. I started at 1. This is Second Ezra 6:1. It said, and he said unto me, in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, even the winds blew, before the thundering of the lightning, before the foundation of paradise was laid, before the flowers were seen, or ever movable powers were established. For it's like before the innumerable multitude of angels were gathered together, or even heights of the air lifted up before the measure. It's like before the measures of the firmament were named, or even the chimneys of Sion were hot. And it's like in verse 5, it says, in the air of the years were sought out, even the inventions of them that now sin were turned. Before it's like a sealed, even the gathering of fate of treasure. So just sum it up, before all of the earth was created, before the foundations, as the scripture was going into, it was already set, that Israel was gonna reign, And let me continue. This is verse 6. It says, then did I consider these things. All things were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also shall they be ended, and none other. So, Yahweh, when Yahweh Shai comes back, he's coming, to establish his power, right along with the elect, the elect of Israel.
That's right.
So, verse 7, it says, and he answered me and said, what shall be the parting asunder of times? Which is going to get into the brother's point. What shall be the parting asunder of time? Or when shall the end of the first? So when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that follow? We're seeing, at the end of the first, his economic system is failing. His every way of this society is falling. We're like the brother gonna bring out. We're seeing that shift of power.
Scriptures do say, roughly paraphrased, like these curses. Matter of fact, so I'm gonna grab that. These curses turning upon.
Deuteronomy 28. Is it 32 and 7 or 30 and 7? I think.
Hold on, I'm gonna grab that. Keep reading.
But and go back. Verse 7. It says, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of times? What shall be the beginning? Sorry, what shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that follow? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, and from Jacob unto, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born, of him, Jacob held first the hill of Esau, and going back to Genesis, Jacob holding Esau's heel was a spiritual thing, because Esau, just like now, he's at the forefront, so to speak, and he's spreading all these lies, and the significance of the heel is that balance, so spiritually what we're doing by going out teaching his word, we're spiritually tearing down that those lies that he set up, breaking down that barrier, so that Yahweh Shai's kingdom can be established.
So roughly the paraphrasing, like those curses that have been upon us over here in Babylon is going to turn on Esau, is going to turn on other nations. And we're actually seeing those things happen before our eyes through the prophecies of in the scriptures. You got some more on that?
A little more. It says for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. You know, so when Esau is ruling, we know that marks the end. You know, and who's coming right after? His kingdom is falling. So hey, if his kingdom is falling, the Chinese not finna get it. You know, when Esau is in power, his kingdom comes down. Hey, it's like I said. It said for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. Hey, so we got next, you know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
So yeah, you can.
I was gonna go in the story of Lazarus.
God, let me read this real quick. This is what you was looking for.
Okay.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7. It said, "And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemy, and unto them that hate thee." That's like unto them that hate thee, which persecute thee. You know, so hey, like the brother said, all the curses.
What's some of those curses?
Hey, that's like it. The curses that they, the things that they're doing to us, the wicked deeds, all those, hey, all the things you can possibly imagine that they have done unto us. Hey, the Lord turned it on them. The main thing being opioids. You know, the same drugs that they put in our community. The same drugs that they, dying from. Yeah. You know?
Ultimately, Esau and the rest of these heathen nations are going to be in subjection to the children of Israel. You know? And that time is coming. Just like in the story of Lazarus.
Okay.
You want to go into that now?
Yeah.
Okay. So, this is Luke 16, verse 19, and it reads, it says, there was a certain rich man, and that rich man represents Esau, Edom. And it says, which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day. And as I think you brought out, is dealing with Esau, you know, he was given the fatness of the earth.
Yeah.
You know, and that represents his wealth, and you know, having all the finer things as we can see what's going on today. And it reads, and there was a certain beggar named Lazarus. Lazarus represents the children of Israel.
And why? And the reason why it represents the children of Israel is because, hey, look at the state they're in. You know, it said, read that. Start back up to really get into it. Yeah.
This is Luke 16, verse 20, and it reads. It says, "And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus."
Go back up one.
This is
rich man.
This is 19. Luke 16, verse 19, it says, there was a certain rich man, which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day.
Right. Hey, so who's, you know, let's just say, all right, that was in today's time, you know. Hey, who's that rich man? You know, like the brother said, Esau. Esau's that rich man. You know, he brought up the fatness of the earth. You know, go ahead.
And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus.
Hey, and what? Look at the state that we're in. You know, the state of Israel. You know, we always have to go down to the to them for help. You know, had to go get government assistance and things like that. You know, we're in the slums of the ghettos. You know, we're in the lowest state.
Goes back to those curses. Talking about you have to go to them for food, for clothing, everything.
For one of all things.
It says, which laid at his gate full of sores.
God, and them sores is those scriptures I believe putrefying sores. You know, we're still recovering from slavery. You
know. And desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table.
Right. Hey, something. Go ahead.
God. You know, we begging for the little. Like if you look at how Jake is living around the world, you know, especially here in Babylon, you know, we begging for loans to just to get by. We you know, and then like, you know, they have food stamps which they're gonna end up taking away. You know, Jake is at a very low, destroyed state right now, and where we don't have anything, you know.
God.
And I understand why Yahweh Bashim Yahushai has done that, so that we have to rely on our power, you know. And either you're gonna rely on your power, or you're gonna be destroyed completely.
And it just the crumbs. You know,
yeah.
you think about the crumbs. Hey, $2,000-$3,000. That's crumbs to the
Yeah.
$4,000-$5,000. That's crumb to the elite.
So even millions.
Right, millions of dollars is crumb to the
Crumb.
elites. Hey,
And-
we getting less than crumbs. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
That's why I say desiring to be fed with the crumbs. We want to be millionaires. Those are crumbs to the elites. It says, moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores.
Hey, who are the dogs? The dogs are the other nations.
God.
You know, and how are they licking our sores? Is they see the condition that we're in. They see the messed up mindset that you know that we're going through.
We just talking about that. They're capitalizing on our ignorance.
Kind. Well, they're capitalizing on the get Psalm 63. They're capitalizing on the fact that we went off.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, and why you grabbing that? I'm gonna grab this
Psalm 63.
because this is the reason why the curses. Well, it's Psalm 83.
83.
Yep. This is the reason why the curses are upon us. It says, Deuteronomy 28:15. It said, but if thou shalt, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all that I commanded thee. It's like all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. You know, because we went off. You know, we wasn't keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Hey, and they capitalize off that. You know, like the brother Taswa been going into for the longest. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, it kind of bugged me out. Your brush, the everyday brush that you use, when you think about it, they actually tell you boar hair. What is a boar? A pig. You know, the society, the products that they use, they purposely design it to make you go off. You know. But go ahead.
This is Psalm 83. Let me start one or go down.
Man, you started one.
Okay. This is Psalms 83, verse 1. It says, keep not thou silence, O power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
Right. They that hate thee have lifted up the head. You know, all the nations, hey, they conspiring to get together. Hey, they're exalting themselves above us.
It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Right.
You know, they're sitting back. Matter of fact, Dr. Anderson recently on the Breakfast Club brought out how this nation was formed and what they did, and he even brought out the fact that what he said was spot on to the scriptures, because he mentioned that the founding fathers of the United States, he said they went into a room. I think he said in Virginia or somewhere on the East Coast. He said they went into a room and locked the door and decided the fate of the country and how and the direction it was going to go, and that fate had nothing to do with Jake,
right,
which was Israel.
Hey, we was never included in the Constitution. They said what they still to this day.
They have to continue to amend and redo laws just to try to fit us in which we're still, man. Listen,
God.
These people ain't finna give up. Their power gonna have to be taken away, and that's the reason why with the story of Lazarus and this changing of place is gonna have to happen, and Yahweh Shema Shah is gonna make it happen. It reads, it says, I'm going to read it again. It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
And that's what they tried to do. Hey, but through the spirit of Hashem Yahushai, hey, he waking up his elect. You know, hey, we're getting our power back. You know, go ahead.
It says, for they have consulted together with one consent.
Hey, with one consent, one meaning one mind, one purpose. You know, and that's the continue hey, continue to have us in this estate because as long as we're down, they prosper. You know, and once when we rise to the top, hey, guess what? That road, like the brother keeps saying, that road gonna be reversed.
You know? That's why they say they see us standing on our feet. It brings great fear to them because they know that their kingdom is about to come to an end.
Okay.
You know, that's fearful. You know, like, hey, you had a long, you had a good run.
Right.
he had a good run. Esau, it's time to get into your place where you belong. Yeah. You know, they don't want to see that. But get back to the scriptures. It says, "For they have consulted they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites and of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gebel."
Hey, go back on that because it actually got Pacific.
And then you know it's crazy. It ain't crazy. The fact that Yahweh Shem Shai through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai put the tabernacles of Edom as the first and number one.
Right, because he's like the scriptures say in I believe it's Lamentation, our enemies are the chief. You know, Esau right now is in the power seat. You know, ruling. And then it said who?
Ishmaelites.
When you go to your gas station, hey, predominantly Ishmael. You know, go ahead.
Of Moab.
You got the Chinese. Got every beauty supply store, every Chinese restaurants, and you know all kind of madness. Who else?
The Hagarenes.
I forget who the Hagarenes is, but hey, you got them in the community.
It says Gebal,
which is I believe those are Africans.
Ammon,
Japanese,
and Amalek.
Esau.
The Philistines, Hamites.
Yeah, Africans.
So-called Africans. It said with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Right. So hey, all these nations are conspiring against us. Hey, they're preying on our ignorance, our weak state.
It says Assur also is joined with them. They have holpen the children of Lot, Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera.
That was it on that.
Yeah, kind of.
But yeah, they are continually afflicting us. You know, you can go back to that.
All right, I just want to make a point. You think about all these different nations, and it's like everybody's laughing. It's like everybody in the room is laughing, and everybody. It's an inside joke on Jake. And everybody around it know the joke with Jake, but then the Lord gonna reveal it, and then that time gonna come when the joke's gonna be on everybody in the room.
Hey, he who laugh now shall laugh. Shall cry later. So
God,
paraphrase.
God, you know, it says this is I'm going to read 21 again. Luke 16:21, it says, "And desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs, which are all the nations we just mentioned, came and licked his sores." They all conspired against, and they're all confederate against the nation of Israel. Okay. It says, "And it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom." That's into I would say heaven, or is it?
That's
the kingdom.
Sort of roughly paraphrasing.
That's
the kingdom. You know, that's the when your spirit die, you know, you go back up into the heavens and you wait, hey, for that judgment, or you know, for either you gonna be judged, come back and be judged, or hey, you gonna come back when the Lord come back.
That's right. It says the rich man also died and was buried. And in hell he lifted up his eyes.
Hey, in hell he lifted up his eyes. You know? Hey, how was he lifting up his eyes in hell? You know? Hey, this world, this is hell. You know? This condition, this is hell. Hey, and what did we do? Hey, we lifted up our eyes in hell, you know? Go ahead.
being in torments,
Hey, being in torment. Hey, we're tormented day and night. You know.
and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom.
Mm-hmm.
And he cried and said, Father Abraham.
It's like I jumped too soon. But start back over.
It says, and in hell he lift up his eyes.
Go back up one more verse.
He says,
let's talk about Esau. Salakia.
It says, and it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom.
No, I was right. Go ahead.
The rich man also died and was buried.
Now the rich man is Esau, and he was being buried. Salakia, go ahead.
And in hell he lift up his eyes, being in torment, and seeing Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom.
Now, like I said, the hell represented this state, this condition. Now we are in hell right now. The sufferings, the pains, the constant groaning. Hey, he's gonna wake up in the same hell, but hey, it's gonna be far worse. Read that again.
And in hell he lift up his eyes, being in torment.
Hey, he lifted up his eyes, being in torment. You know, hey, the same slavery, the same wickedness he pushed on us is the same sufferings he finna suffer, and it's gonna torment him. You know,
and see if Abraham afar off, and in Lazarus in his bosom.
Gosh, hey, so he's seen Israel. You know,
and he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus, that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. Now, by him calling him father, you got to understand, Esau is... You want to touch that? All right. Esau is our brother.
Okay.
You know? And so, again, he sees Lazarus in the kingdom, and Lazarus is living great. This is kind of how, you know, like, if we talk about the change of the places, you see Esau now, they have wealth, they live in the finest neighborhoods, their kids go to the great schools, they seem to have everything just going well. They're in their heaven, which is our hell, okay. The condition that we're in. But Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thy good things, and likewise Lazarus, who represents Israel, evil things.
God, and the brother mentioned it earlier. The fat he was given the fatness of the earth. God. Hey, and right now, hey, he's giving that fatness. You know, the wealth. You know.
It says, but now he is comforted, and thou art tormented.
Right. Hey, so in the gospel. Mm-hmm. You know, hey, right now, this word is our comfort, you know, but when Yahweh shall return, hey, he's going to be that comforter unto us, you know, and we're going to inherit the finer, like the brother said, the finer things.
It says, and beside all this, between us and you, there's a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from hence to you cannot, neither can they pass to us that will come from thence. Then he said, I pray thee, therefore, Father, that thou wouldest send him to my father's house. For I have 5 brethren, that he may testify unto them, lest they also come into this place of torment. Abraham saith unto him, they have Moses and the prophets, let them hear them.
And it goes back to show you, you know, hey, what he said, he had 5 brethren. Hey, they wanted, look, they had all the time to, you know, repent, you know, but hey, it's not gonna happen, you know.
And he said, nay, Father Abraham, but if one went unto them from the dead, they will repent. And he said unto him, if they hear not Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded, though one rose from the dead.
Hey, and going back, you know, go back up one verse. Just I want to bring out that point.
It says, and he said, nay, Father Abraham.
Go back up one more.
Verse 29. It says, Abraham said unto him, they have Moses and the prophets. Right. Let them hear them.
They have Moses and the prophets, you know. And the Lord, The Lord has had men prophesying from the beginning of time. You know, He's always had His men out there prophesying. You know, go ahead. That was the point I wanted to really bring out.
God. And he said, Nay, Father Abraham, but if one went unto them from the dead, they will repent. And he said unto him, if they hear not Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded, though one rose from the dead. And that one that rose from the dead is talking about a Yahweh shot.
God.
You know, and they put him to death. So, hey, man, you got anything else?
That was it on
That was it, yeah.
But yeah, hey, so hey, they not gonna hear. You know, they not gonna take a hear to you know, the words of prophecy. You know.
God, that's right.
Hey, so hey, a matter of fact, you know, it was that in Revelation where it said, he who stealeth the man, or to roughly paraphrase.
God, I got you.
Cause like all this stuff, hey, finna be black. I said black. All this stuff finna be turned back on you, just like we read in Deuteronomy 28. You know.
Well, we can go back to Exodus 21. This is a precept of that. Exodus 21:16. And he that stealeth the man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. And then I'm going to go up to Revelations 2. There's a precept of that, though. But, man, let's see. Revelations.
He who stealeth the man shall be cut off on this side. Or you can get the one, he who leadeth to captivity.
That's what I was thinking in Romans.
I can't think of it right off.
Yeah, I think it was, no, it's Revelation. Salakia. I'm thinking of something else. This Revelation 13, verse 10, it says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Right.
He that
and Esau has done nothing but lead us into captivity. We're still with I now always say, hey, we're still captives, POW, prisoners of war. You know? Go ahead.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And Esau is, and his sword, his blessing is his weaponry. You know. Go ahead.
Here's the patience and the faith of the saints.
Here's the patience and faith of the saints.
And that word patience goes into suffering, because we've been suffering for a very long time.
God.
I mean, going through the same thing over and over again.
Hey.
And that's our faith is to hold on and continue this suffer and go through this suffering, this struggle, until Yahweh Shah comes back to deliver us from this bondage and this captivity.
God. Hey, so with that, you know, all praise to Yahweh.
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Rakakadash.
The abundance of the apostles and elders, a great millstone. And to all you sincere Akim out there pressing the truth and sincerity, and keep fighting the good fight. Hey, our kingdom is next. You know.
So, well, like you said at the end, have patience and faith.
Hey, don't hasten. Hey, just continue to push the word. You know.
And brothers, wait on the Lord, man.
Hey, God.
We can't take these matters into our own hand, especially if we don't have the power. Just like in the ancient times, we never went to war with anybody unless the Lord gave us that command to do so, and or if he Yahweh used to always say to the man of old, I have delivered them into your hands, meaning that I have set it up for you to take hold of and capture or take hold whatever it was to win that war, that battle. So we always waited on Yahweh to give us that call. So waiting on Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, to give us that power to be able to carry out those commands. You know.
Hey, that's a whole nother lesson.
I just want to end it with that, brothers.
Hey, so with that, Shalom.
Shalom.